Hello and welcome to a special The TCF Morning Show, Sunday, December 15th. We're doing a little extra show here. We missed one this week. We're also going to try something out new here. We drop a show on Sunday mornings, even though there's only 3 weeks left in the NFL season. We're going to start up a new thing here and maybe into the playoffs or some bowl games we can talk about in the future. But today we're going to be talking mostly about Bears, Packers, and Week 14. Before we get into that, thank you to our sponsors, The Muddy Otter. Go to themuddy.otter.com or go to their Facebook or Instagram. Check out their stuff. They just released some stuff this week, a bunch of stuff for Christmas ideas, ornaments, all that kind of stuff. So go check out The Muddy Otter. Hannah and Mitch Prentice out of the Lake of the Ozarks. Like I said, beautiful little mug right here. But let's get into it. We got Bears, Packers tomorrow. Packers are favored 4.5. Again, that really doesn't matter that much for the Packers. May not even matter for the Bears because if the Bears win and either the Rams or Vikings win, it really won't matter. Their chances right now are about 2% anyways. But it's exciting. You always want to beat the Packers, or in the Packers, you always want to beat the Bears. So either way, it's an exciting game. So I think the Bears at least have a chance. It's gonna be about 15 degrees, I think.
I heard like the real feel was like 4.
Both teams are pretty used to that, so it really won't, I don't think, affect either team.
No.
It'll make you for at least
especially since bear weather doesn't exist. We debunked that last year. So,
but it will be very cold, so that could always play a factor somehow. Bears got Akeem Hicks back, which is a nice little addition for them, even though they lost Roquan for the season. And they don't have Danny Trevathan, so we'll see how that goes.
I think there's still a lot in play here, though. The Packers are right now the 2 seed, which is huge. You get that first round bye, and it's one of those like, you could, theoretically the Packers are most likely going to make the playoffs, to barring something wild happening. But you gotta win, and if you want to be that home team and get your home field advantage until in that first game instead of having to go on the road or even play that first week, there's still something up for grabs. So it's not like the Packers, I don't think, are going to be mailing anything in. I think you're going to see the Bears' best effort. You're going to see a good effort from the Packers, and it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, I don't think you'll ever see either team, even if the team – I think the Bears could be 0-14 going into the game, where the Packers could be 0-14, and they still would want to win this game.
100%.
So it'll be an exciting game, a noon game tomorrow. When do the Vikings play tomorrow, Pat? Or do they play tomorrow night?
They play at 3:05.
3:05. They play
the Chargers.
They play in LA against the Chargers.
So I kind of like that spot for the Vikings because Kirk Cousins on the road usually isn't good in games like that. They're only 1.5 point favorites going into the game.
The Chargers have been such a weird place to play on the road for some reason. Like if you have to go to them, it feels like it should be a home game, but the Packers go and lose there. Someone else big lost there. And I don't know. It's just it's a weird place because they're not a good football team. It's a weird stadium. You get a huge visiting crowd, and yet still they've taken down a couple some good foes. So I think it'll be a good challenge for Minnesota if they want to continue to stay in this race in the NFC North. Pat, I don't know what you think as a Vikings fan.
No, and what's weird is like the Chargers have no home field advantage at all,
right?
Because a majority of the fans in that stadium are going to be the road team's fans. And I keep telling all my Vikings contingent, like, this is a game that if you're a legit team that can win a playoff game, and as the Vikings, you go to LA and you just handle your business. You win by, 7 to 10 points. You go in and you make it look easy.
Yes.
Now, I'm really nervous about this because, again, this seems like a humongous setup spot because the Chargers, they don't have anything to play for. And the Vikings really can't afford to misstep the last 3 weeks of the year because they got this game, then they had the Packers and the Bears the last 2 games, and those are games that they're probably going to have to win. So this seems like a very, really trappy spot, and the line's only 1.5. And I'd like to think the Vikings are more than 1.5 better than the Chargers. But like I said, if you're a good team, good teams win this kind of game late in the season. So we'll go out and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think. Like I said, if the Vikings or Rams, who I think play Dallas.
They're at Dallas, yeah.
At Dallas, so both teams could maybe lose. But either way, the Bears have to win pretty much out to even have a chance. So it'll be kind of a nerve-wracking day. Both those games are at 3, so if you're either team, you'll know what's going on before that. As a Bears fan, I'm a little nervous about tomorrow. Like you said, never like going into Green Bay with.
But it's good for the Bears that they're playing at noon and not at the same time as the Vikings and the Rams, because you could get scoreboard watching where here that you're playing the noon game and the two teams that you have to worry about play after you anyway. So you can just go out and play loose and free. And
But
not
like I
have
said,
to
either
worry
way,
about
you
the
have
scoreboard.
to win. So you have to.
Right.
Really, nothing matters unless you go out there and win the game. Like I said, it'll be a big game. Always a fun environment there in Green Bay. Like I said, it's going to be very cold, but I don't think that will affect either team. Little Week 14 talk. We got Tampa, Detroit.
15.
That is an NFL football game that will happen.
Yeah, Tampa's still kind of in it in a way. 6-7, just trying to win out the rest of the year. Jameis, Hall of Fame quarterback, as some would say, trying to end the season.
He had a fucking week last week.
Trying to end the season strong. Denver, Kansas City. I think Denver coming off a big win against. I think it was Texans. So they were up 31-3
They
before
took
you could
the Texans
blink in
out
that
to the
game. It was
woodshed.
crazy.
They are Chiefs are 10-point favorites. I don't know if I like them 10 points, but I do think they'll win the game. But this is
especially at Arrowhead.
Another big game for the Chiefs because, like I said, you want to lock up home field advantage. You are 9-4 right this second off a big win against the Patriots. So you want to keep the momentum going. Texans, Tennessee, both very good teams, 8-5. Tannehill has kind of brought the Titans back from the
Sparked
dead.
them. I mean, shoot, they're the favorite. I mean, they're playing well, and
They
that game is basically for the NFC South.
They haven't lost since Tannehill took over.
Yeah, so I think
Stud.
I don't know what he's done there. The over is 51.5, and I see 91% of the money is on the over, so I might be taking the over there because, like I said, I do think
go against the public. I'll take the under.
I hear that's the hottest pick of the week is the over in that.
I feel like there's going to be a lot of
Texans-Titans
offense,
game,
not a lot of defense.
the Titans have been a machine since Tannehill took over. They've been scoring like crazy. Derrick Henry has been a monster. They've been just being able to put up points whenever they want to.
Yeah, but it does kind of maybe seem like a spot that at home you kind of get comfortable.
Yep.
Tannehill maybe has a bad game. You know, he could be due for a few interceptions here and there. Tannehill's actually former team, Miami Dolphins, go to the Giants in one of the worst games of the week.
As I say, also an NFL game that will happen
Awful.
How are the Giants a favorite over anybody?
because it's the Dolphins,
But
and
the
they're at
Dolphins-
home.
The Dolphins are on a little bit of a roll.
Fitz magic.
It's magic out there, but I think that the Giants, if they want to have any bit of a, I think either team wants to lose. So it's whoever wants to lose the most.
Yeah.
will lose that game. Seattle, Carolina. Seattle 6-point favorites going into Carolina, which a team that's also kind of faded off into the sunset here in the season. They started off maybe with a little bit of hope there after Cam Newton got hurt. They had was it Kyle Allen goes out there. He kind of gives them a little bit of a spark, but 5-8, done for the season. Not done for. He's not done for the season. The team is done. So I really don't see much for fighting there. If you're the Seahawks, though, you want to come off a big loss, you'd say, at home. No, was that in LA or was that at home?
I was at LA.
At LA. Either way, a team like the Rams, who have kind of been struggling throughout the year, are also kind of nipping at the heels of not the Seahawks, but trying to get into that wild card spot there.
I kind of love the Seahawks in this game.
I would like to too,
I
because I don't think Carolina's got much to play for.
I think they go out and they just fucking whoop the Panthers tomorrow.
A game that Pigo was talking about before we started the show, the Patriots go into Cincinnati are only 10-point. They're only 10-point favorites because I think that could be 2 touchdowns, if maybe more, because the Cincinnati Bengals are awful. They are 1-12 right now, and the Patriots coming off a loss is going to look to, I think, crush the Cincinnati Bengals. So I think
it's even more than that too. Like I think it's like the whole narrative about how they were filming the Bengals, whatever the hell this narrative is like, and everybody's against them again. And like when you see the Patriots when everybody's against them and they don't believe in them and they're calling them this, that, and the other thing other name under the sun, like I don't think that there's I shouldn't say this, but the Patriots could be laying 14, and I'd bet them at 14.
Yeah.
And 7.
I say
I just
I
think
could
they're
go
going
up
to
to 2
just
touchdowns,
fucking
and I would love
kill
it.
the Bengals. They're going to kill the Bengals.
I think Andy Dalton will have a patented 3-4 interception game. They'll win by 2-3 touchdowns.
It's going to be so ugly.
If not more, because they are not going to let off at all. The Eagles go to Washington to play the R words in a big game
Crappy
for the
spot.
Eagles, which is kind of crazy because they're 6-7.
They shouldn't even be
but
in
their
a
division sucks.
race, but they are.
They're only 6-point favorites. The line's only 39 points, which is kind of crazy.
I think the Eagles could put that up on their own.
But the Redskins, they have a little bit to fight for, because why would you not want to beat a division rival?
Exactly.
And try and ruin their day?
Especially with a young quarterback like Haskins. I mean, he's got something to prove. He's got stuff to work on. It'll be interesting to see if the Eagles. I think if the Eagles can blow the Redskins out, don't count them out then just yet. But if they let the Redskins hang around, you might see the end of the playoff chances for the Eagles.
And then we got Browns, Cardinals.
Sorry to go back to that one. This feels like one of those like home division underdog teams that has no business being in a game, but they'll just be in it all game.
And they'll win and then ruin the Eagles' season.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and here's the thing too. Like if you're, any of these NFC teams that are in the hunt, Bears, Rams, but Vikings, Packers, whoever, you can almost really, really hope to draw the 4-5 matchup because you want to play the Eagles or the Cowboys.
Yes.
You don't want to go, if you're the wild card team, you don't want to go to New Orleans or San Fran or Green Bay. You want to play the Eagles or the Cowboys.
Exactly.
So it's one of those where it's like, I mean, however it shakes out, it shakes out. But I mean, if you're the NFC wild card team, you definitely want to play the NFC East winner.
Yeah,
100%.
because they said either it'll be Dallas or the Eagles, and I don't think either team has much of a chance. They said Browns, Cardinals. Browns are kind of coming back here, 6-7. Cardinals just trying to get through their season. The over/under is 49. Like I said, I saw 97% of the money.
Do you guys
on
as
the
gamblers, when you see numbers like 97 and 95 on the over, like that just like begs me to take the under?
In a game like this, though, like I said, two not really good defenses, two offenses that could put up some points. The Cardinals kind of proved that Kyler Murray is having a pretty good year.
Yeah.
He's a work in progress. And the Browns would love to go out there and score 20, 30 points easily. After a weird they won their game last week, but then Baker Mayfield comes out and says that Odell Beckham's been hurt. So you don't really know what's going on in that locker room. But either way, I think that the Browns will end up winning that game. They're only 3-point favorites, which I think is kind of crazy because I think there's a role that they're on.
Well, being at Arizona kind of brings that total down. Yeah, brings that total down.
Noon games, and then the Jaguars, Raiders. The Raiders 6-7, kind of keeping it with it. But the Jaguars, I don't know what they're going to do.
They're
Nick
terrible.
Foles is not the answer. They paid him a lot of money. Gardner Minshew, unfortunately, is not the answer either. So they're going to have a lot to look at in the offseason. And I guess right now you just kind of let Nick Foles play it out.
They have to build an offensive line. They're getting killed. They're missing so many pieces. I don't think either of those teams are a playoff team, but I think Oakland's trending in the right direction, where I think Jacksonville's trending in the wrong direction. So we'll see how those play out on Sunday or today.
Here's the spot of the spot of the century. This is the last home game in the black hole for the Raiders.
So yeah, I guess you would want to put all your money on the Raiders there because they're 6.5-point favorites, and John Gruden loves the black hole, loves that place, and will, I'm guessing, get his team pumped up, and that place will be crazy.
And the Jags flat out fucking quit last week.
Yes.
Against the Chargers. Got pantsed. So their coach is a dead man walking. They don't have a fucking thing to play for. Last home game for the Raiders in the black hole. It's a lay it or stay away on this game with the Raiders.
Bet the mortgage.
I love the Raiders in this game.
Like we talked about, Minnesota goes to L.A. to play the Chargers, which could be a little bit of a trap game for the Vikings. The Vikings not needing to win this game, but would like to win this game to keep their wild card spot secured up. You don't want to let the Bears get back into it, even though the Bears have to go home and play the Chiefs. They win that game, you go to Minnesota, and then it's pretty much a coin toss there because you realize what happened last year at the end of the season.
You don't want to leave the back door even slightly.
Exactly.
No, you don't want
to slam it shut.
So I'm thinking the Chargers will give them a game. It's going to be I think it'll be close. I
think so.
I really hope that the Chargers can pull that one out. The Falcons go to San Francisco. I think 11 is not enough. I think that the 49ers will beat them by 2 touchdowns. The money is on the Falcons minus 11, but I don't see
plus 11.
Oh yeah, plus 11. Sorry. And I just don't see them having any fight. And
I think the 49ers have so much to play for because they have the Saints and the Packers nipping at their heels.
They just came off a huge win against the Saints too. And I just think that this team isn't going to want to let down in San Francisco. I think it'll be a blowout.
And the Falcons are terrible.
Well,
they play terrible, and they play good. It's just a weird team.
So kind of devil's advocate here. If you're the 49ers, here's the thing. Your last 3 games were the Packers, the Ravens, and the Saints. and you went 2-1 in those 3 games, which is, that's a hell of a run between those 3 games.
Yep.
Those 3 teams. Then you close with the Rams and the Seahawks. If there's any game that the Niners are going to look ahead, it's going to be this game.
Valid point.
Valid point, but I think that they could even look ahead and still beat a team like this.
But
it depends which Atlanta team shows up.
Yeah, I mean,
exactly.
The only thing I say is that 49ers defense is so dominant right now, even though it was a shootout against the Saints. I think that 49ers defense can lock this Falcons team up and even score 1-2 touchdowns, still win the game. Maybe not cover, but I just don't see I don't see the
because the 49ers are clearly the better team.
Oh, yeah.
But if they win by 7,
spot.
you're like, that's not going to be surprising if they win by 7.
But I just think also the Falcons, a team that usually plays noon, going to San Francisco all the way across the U.S. of A., that I just think that could be a spot that they fall apart. Dan Quinn, I don't know how he still has a job. I think
for long.
The Falcons are. I mean,
playing for him. I guess
they're on thin ice every week. It's like you don't know what team's going to come out. They could be really good. Like when they beat the Saints, they could be really shitty.
And then
I mean, it's one of those. They're just a random team.
The last 3:00 game we got, or 3:25, LA Rams going to Dallas to play the Cowboys, which I like that it's in Dallas. Maybe it gives them a little bit of fear. I don't know. Because the Dallas team that the Bears played last week, and they just looked lifeless. They didn't look like their defense had anything to them, and they had to try and throw the ball more, which kind of you were predictable. They really weren't able to run it. They were able to run it a few times, but with the deficit that they had got down to, I don't think that they really had any chance there. So that kind of worries me. But a Rams team that has proven that they can have some bad games. Like I said, if you're a Bears fan, that's the game you need them to lose.
I kind of like Dallas.
I think I like Dallas too.
I like LA.
Yeah.
But it's weird. I don't know what has happened between the Open. Dallas was 4-point favorites, and now they are 1.5 point dogs. So I don't know if there's been injuries that I've missed or something.
Is somebody not playing for the Cowboys? Because that'd be the only thing that
I'm trying
makes sense.
Let's see the injury report here.
Pull that up. Because I don't get that.
Well, Sean Lee is questionable.
He's always
Bennett, questionable.
He's always hurt.
Gerald Everett, that's a Rams player.
Well, obviously the
Vander Esch is out.
Matchup,
Vander Esch, I did see that.
That might be what it was.
He's not a 5-point swing guy though.
No, but if Sean Lee's out and Michael Bennett is out, that's maybe a full point. And I just think that the Rams kind of proved themselves. They went into Seattle and won the game, so maybe that's kind of swayed the money. Like I said, it may not just be the team doing it. It could be the gamblers putting a lot of money on it. So we'll see how that goes. Then
I'd have probably taken Rams +4 at the Open, but
I don't know about -1.5.
I don't know if I'd lay a point with them. You know what I mean?
The Sunday night game,
that makes sense.
Buffalo, Pittsburgh, 2 teams that are looking towards the playoffs. Buffalo is 1-point dogs in Pittsburgh. Duck Hodges has not lost a game as a Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback, and Buffalo is looking for a big statement win on the road.
Buffalo's also looking for win number 10, which is something I didn't think I was going to say this year.
I mean, they're also looking at, I know it might sound crazy, but they're looking at home field advantage in the playoffs. They're only 1 game behind the Patriots as of right now.
Yeah.
And the Patriots' schedule is pretty easy to end the season, so I don't see them doing too much there, but might as well go for 11-4.
Yeah.
12-4. It's already probably the best season the Buffalo has had in the last 10 years or so. They are looking, like I said, into the playoffs. But Pittsburgh,
This might be like an ugly, like really good game.
yeah,
though.
I think
Like it might be like 17-7, but it might be like a really good 17.
the number's only 37, so they're not looking for a lot of points in this game. I think two good defenses and two quarterbacks that are looking to prove themselves in the NFL right now. Josh Allen would have a big win on the road, so I would probably have to take Pittsburgh at home. I think Duck Hodges has got it going, but Buffalo, you never know. And then
This was actually the Vikings Chargers was actually the Sunday night game, and they flexed it out for this game. Which, you know what? Who gives a fuck? Like this should be a good game.
Wait,
This should be a better game than the Vikings Chargers.
Oh, and if you're a Vikings fan, as Pigo is, you're pretty happy that Kirk Cousins
Get him out of
prime time, so you're probably happy about that.
We don't need anything goofy to have. We need to just win the
you don't
game.
Need prime time
and
Kirk
get us
Cousins
in
right. I would like prime time Kirk Cousins right now, but you don't. And then the Monday night game, kind of a not a good, great game. Saints have kind of they fizzled out. They started off the season with some momentum, and then Jacoby Brissett, he's a good quarterback, but this team just can't put together wins. I don't know if Vinatieri is hurt. He just has not been. He's had some spots where he could have won the games for him. And
he's like 48 years old. I think that's the problem.
I think he's like 42.
Yeah,
but I think he
like
has had
50.
some knee injury. And I think the Saints at home are just going to
9-point favorites.
Annihilate him. I think it's not even going to be close. He's not on the injury report, so he's not hurt.
Oh, okay.
I know they had brought in a new kicker, though. So I don't know if they were just trying to test him out. But if you're a Colts fan, you love Vinatieri, but maybe it's time for him to move on. But it's been a trend this whole year, not good kickers. Kickers have not been good this year. You look at Dallas. Dallas' kickers missed 10 field goals.
Well, and then he got released.
Like
he
got
released on Monday.
Well, I'm just saying it took 10 field goals to get him released.
Turn on any NFL game.
Yeah, you're right.
There's a missed kick every time.
Yeah, it's crazy. And with the amount of just bad kickers, it's you get lucky with the guys you got, because I know Eddie Pinheiro hasn't been that great, but at least he's kind of doing all right. Packers have got a good guy.
Look at
Mason Crosby's been pretty consistent.
Look at how valuable Justin Tucker is.
Yeah, Justin Tucker's worth every penny.
Look at the Patriots. Patriots team that prides themselves on every facet of the game that they're good at, and
they've gone through four kickers this year.
They almost didn't have a kicker last week.
Yeah.
They almost didn't have a
Julian
kicker.
Edelman was about to be the kicker.
They would go for more on a fourth down than you think, just because they don't trust their kicker. And like I said, Giants, was it Rosario?
Yeah.
Or Rosas. He has not been doing good. I don't think there's really been, like I said, Justin Tucker is easily the best kicker. There's just not been a lot of dominant kickers.
Yeah, Justin Tucker's a dog. Name the second best kicker in the NFL. You can't. You have to sit and look it up,
Nope.
And I think trying to think of who would even be the second best kicker.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at it, a guy like Cody Parkey got a chance with the team this year.
Mason Crosby's been one of the most consistent kickers, but he just doesn't kick that much.
He's also a guy that's gone and taken the yips and just kind of dominated the yips, because he did have some problems but a few years ago, and turn it around, and that's just not what kickers are really doing nowadays. They're pretty much falling apart, and then they're done.
Absolutely.
I was going to say, outside of Justin Tucker and then the Bears, Packers, and Vikings kickers, I don't know who the fuck kicks for you.
Actually, the Dolphins kicker was 7 of 8
field goals.
7 of 8 last week, and he had 20. He had all their points.
Jason Myers?
Sanders.
Yeah, Sanders. So that was that was pretty interesting. Like I said, that was weird to see. I think they won 20. They won 21-20, and their kicker had all 21 points, which is very
Jesus
impressive.
Christ.
Pigo, you got anything else on Week 14?
No, they lost 22-21.
You want to go?
They lost?
I think so.
You want to go best bet? Everybody get a best bet?
I think my best bet.
If you had to pick one game for all the money you could bet this week, what do you bet?
Raiders minus 6.5.
Boomy's got the
Raiders.
Raiders.
Going Raiders minus 6.5. I'm gonna go.
I got the Patriots.
You got Patriots.
I love the Patriots.
I like the Saints minus 9 at home. Monday night.
All right.
Drew Brees, the boys coming off a big loss against the San Francisco 49ers and a Colts team that has not been staying in games. Speaking of that, 46.5 is the over-under. 99% of the money right now is on the overs. Like I said, I think that will be a high score. I think the Saints scored 40 something last week. I think they could score 40 something again.
46
on this team. So I'm going with Saints -9. I'm not touching that Bears game. I would like to say I
don't love it, but I kind of like the Lions getting 5 points at home.
Yeah,
I just don't trust the Buccaneers to cover a touchdown.
I just don't trust the Lions quarterback. I know you can't trust Jameis Winston, but he's at least better than whoever they're going to throw out there.
It's kind of a who do you trust less in that game? You just pick the other team.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think the over-under is 46. I don't know if I would like to.
Other than that, I don't think I have much. I like the Seahawks, and
I do like the Seahawks, and I also like.
I like the Cardinals.
I love fading the public. I think I'm going to do a lot of that tomorrow.
Yeah, I like 49ers -11. I think that'll be a game, like I said, they want to go out there and prove that they are the dominant team in the NFC. But like I said, a lot to play out tomorrow. It'll be a fun day for Bears, Packers, Vikings, Rams, all teams that are in it to win it. Like I said, if you're a Bears fan, sit there, beg for a win, and if you do, then you got to sit there and beg for 2 losses. Because really and truthfully, it's fun to think about it, but unless that happens, nothing really matters. You've been kind of in the playoffs the last 2-3 weeks anyways, with the way you've had to play it out. What's up, Boomy? Oh.
Just watching this bowl score.
Oh, what's the bowl score?
Bulls are up 91-87 with 8.5 left.
Speaking of Bulls, John Paxson did some interviews today. He did a lot of one-on-one interviews. I think he did some with NBC Sports Chicago. He did one with The Athletic. Pretty much saying that they like
the core
or whatever. They like what they got going there. They like Jim Boylan. He's a grinder. They're going to keep him around. Why would you not? I guess what are you going to do? He's not allowed to talk really much about injuries anymore, about anything else other than, I guess, the guy's playing. I don't know. I don't get it. I think that he just went out there and did this because then he can shut up the media. He's not going to do his annual Christmas interview with 670 The Score, which he's ruined Christmas.
Bummer.
I think this was just kind of a ploy to get the fans off the scent for a little bit. Oh, John Paxson talked to the media for the first time in a long time. No one cares.
Yeah,
I'm so fatigued by this Bulls team.
And it's not even Christmas, and I'm like tired just talking about I'm looking at it right now. Thaddeus Young just missed a 26-foot jump shot. Like, why is Thaddeus Young shooting a 26-foot jump shot?
I saw him bring up the ball today.
And then he has a bad pass. Shit. Rodney Magruder steals. So, I'm just following it on Game Tracker, and it's so frustrating because there is talent there, and they just don't want to play for Jim Boylan. And like you said, fatiguing is the right word.
Also, we got USA.
Go ahead, Zach.
No, you go ahead. Finish out the Bulls.
I said this a week and a half ago. Jim Boylan is the epitome of Jason Garrett in a NBA coaching.
Nailed it.
Nobody, they don't want to play for this fucking guy. Are you kidding me?
Because he's a clown.
Also, I know Pigoy's a big
USA takes the lead.
USA is taking the lead, 11-10. They got about 6 matches left. Or 7 matches left. Yeah. Patrick Reed goes out there. He had been heckled a little bit by the fans. His caddy had been sent away
up.
And just dominated. Dominated pretty much the whole way.
He's such a bag,
USA has gotten their first 3 points of the day. They're 3-0. Tiger Woods won.
I think they're leading 4. They're up 11-10 at the moment. They're leading 4. The international team is leading 3, and there's 2 that are tied. So it's up in the air right now. So you guys will know when this comes out in the morning who won this thing. But we obviously think Team USA is going to finish this thing.
Well, they are down 2 points going into the day, and match play. This team is dominant. Tiger Woods went out there. I think he's won 7 now. He is the one the most matches in whatever this is, the President's Cup play.
President's Cup.
Finau and Matsuyama. Finau is down 10. It was down 4 and came back. So that'll be exciting. Like I said, you'll know more about that in the morning. I don't know if Pigoy has been tracking that, but it's something you got. I think it'll go later into the night.
Yeah, they get down to 1 or 2 a.m.
It's been a really tough week and a half if your name is Patrick Reed.
Yeah,
that's all I gotta say about that.
That's what happens when you're a douchebag.
You can't get out of He can't get out of his own way.
But I think I kind of like the whole caddy getting into a fight thing.
Yeah.
He got sent away. I think that's a little soft. I think. Hey, they do it in NASCAR. Why can't the caddies get into a little bit of an altercation, especially a drunk guy?
If they tie after 18 holes, the caddy should have to fist fight for the point.
Yeah, I think it was exciting. But we'll wrap this up here. Thank you to our sponsors, The Muddy Otter. Go to themuddyotter.com. Check out their stuff. Like I said, they dropped some new product out there that they had left over from a little event that they had done. So if you're looking for some Christmas presents, ornaments, bowls, wood, they do wood and pottery.
Ceramics.
Like I said, they do very talented at it's amazing stuff that they do, stuff that we could only imagine doing. Like I said, right here, they made this little mug for us with the beautiful TCF logo on there. So that's a one of one. But maybe if you
a good grip on it.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying it's a one of one. Right, look at the bottom of it. Then you got the Muddy Otter. Like I said, Hannah is very talented at what she does with that kind of stuff. I can't believe the kind of stuff that they can do. Thank you to the Muddy Otter, Hannah and Mitch Prentice. This has been the TCF Morning Show, Sunday, December 15th, the special NFL edition, joined by at TCF Pigoy and at Boomy TCF. I am at Zlilia, Lilja TCF. At typical_Chicago. Also, the Blackhawks are up 3-0 against the Blues. Fuck the Blues. So that's always a nice win, even though they're like the last place in the division. I was going to take the Bulls, Blackhawks, freaking parlay tonight, money line, and it's looking like that would actually have been a good bet. I think the Bulls are still up, aren't they?
Oh, they're tied 91 last I checked.
So maybe not.
They'll piss it away.
Hopefully his team and your team lose, so hopefully I am victorious here on Sunday. But let's go. We love you all.
Peace.
Let's go.